You're listening to the FAI INKWELL. This podcast is produced by Frontier Alliance International, making our weekly published articles available in audio format. Explore all citations and footnotes in the original document and get more information about FAI at fai.online. Thanks for listening.
Grace Abounding. I saw the mighty oak planted there beside the stream. It was odd and it was beautiful, and it was everything in between. I would long for it in secret when I would walk along the creek, for it was odd and it was beautiful, and it was everything in between. It was a dark, dark day when I started across the stream. I had decided to approach it, overwhelmed to find it approaching me. I laid face in the dirt, nose shallow in the ground, knowing but not understanding that somehow it was I who had been found. I did not think myself to be hiding, but was now astutely aware that in all my days of wandering I had been filthy, toes to hair. The mighty oak invited me to its place there beside the stream, where I could kneel and bow my head and let the water wash it clean. Day by day I rested 'neath the oak, and I began to learn his name. His name was Grace Abounding, and he melted away my shame. I spent many years there being coddled by his shade, and he taught me how to love him, and I tried to teach him the same. I told him how I liked things, how I did not prefer the dark, how I wanted warmer temperatures, and how he could play his part. He was not learning quickly, and I knew it from the start, for the days were growing colder, and the nights were getting dark. I grew frustrated with his slowness, figured I could do just as well out on my own, so I put his leaves in my pocket and I made the road my home. I took my newfound confidence and built myself a throne. I asked others to swear to myself while still claiming allegiance to the oak. In this work, it was successful, and deep down was planted a seed that I could go on just fine like this, that I no longer needed that old tree. But he knew what I did not, that there was a new growth inside of me, and he made a plan to destroy it without warning or heed. It was one day on a visit that he invited me to climb, and I leaned too far into his hollow before falling in it for quite some time. I was surprised to find it dark inside a place that I had known to be so bright, and wondered how many minutes might pass before he brought me back to light. Those minutes became hours, and those hours became days. The days turned into months, and I began to feel betrayed. How could he do this? I had trusted him so. Had he invited me to this place to leave me dead and cold? Surely he would not, for I had only known him to be good. But I could no longer see even the faintest light, dark as masked by a hood. He would let in light some days, but it was always random, nothing I could do to make it happen, and nothing I could count on. As the months went by and by, I felt in my gut this rot. I knew that I was dying, and I knew that he cared not. The rot began to fester, clot, ooze, and bleed, and I knew now for certain he would not be coming back for me. The days and months, they ran together, but one did stand apart. It began as the cruelest of days, as I felt him pierce my fading heart. He stuck me with his wooden blade and let warm blood flow free. I screamed and bled and begged, "Oh, just kill me!" And after far too long, he removed his blade for me to see. And I realized it not to be assault, but surgery. He was holding that rotted growth, that tumor that began as seed. And I realized how small I had made him, and how great I had made me. He needed not explain, for I knew what he had done. He had starved the growth in darkness, and in a battle for my heart had won. He pulled me back to light, and I shut my eyes quite tight, not from sensitivity or pain, but out of pure frozen fright. I knew I had betrayed him, and I had seen the terror of his power. He lowered me to the ground beneath him, and there I knelt and cowered. I pleaded for him to leave me, to let me return to my shame. And he told me that he loved me, and he reminded me his name. For his name is grace abounding, planted there beside the stream. And he is odd, and he is beautiful, and he is everything in between.
Thank you for listening to the FAI Inkwell. This podcast is part of our commitment to resource those who have the gospel as we prioritize reaching those who do not have the gospel. For more information about our ministry and pioneering initiatives among the unreached and unengaged, download the FAI app or visit us at fai.online. Maranatha.